Alrighty then, I think we're all set up. I think that's everything. We're ready to go. Now, today I'm doing something slightly different in which, I don't know if you've noticed, I've moved my ring light because I noticed in the playback that the ring light was cutting into the edges of the camera like this on last stream, and so I'm putting it in a slightly different position, and we'll see if that still gives, like you can tell with my shadow, the light is up here instead of over here, and so we'll see if that still helps, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, and still don't know that this doodle isn't really looking like anything yet, so I don't know what it is. I still haven't gotten, like, it's only been 2 days, give me a break. I still haven't gotten another stand for the camera, for the cell phone, so it is still wobbly, but we're doing the best with what we've got. I did do a little bit of this stuff yesterday, and today we're just gonna continue it on. And hello to anybody who's watching out there. I really appreciate you. And hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. It's a little cloudy here, but the sky's trying to peek through. If you ever recorded your own voice and then played it back for yourself and then went, do I really sound like that? That's insane. Sorry, I'm a little wobbly there. I'm trying not to be. But like I said, this is currently sitting on a gooseneck, and yeah, it is definitely touchy. J. Crow, hello, how are ya? I'm going to try to stick to my actual original plan of an hour a day. The other day I went an hour and 44 minutes. But I'm doing good. How are you, J. Crow? Doing good, just eating some ramen. Oh yeah, W ramen. I love ramen. I have like, I've got like the Mr. Noodle brand ramen and the off-brand of that, but everybody's like, that's not ramen, that's not real ramen. Well, I've had packaged versions of more spicy kind, and that's still not real ramen, but it's hard to come by a good real ramen place, so especially where I live, so yeah, what I get is packaged. And someday I do plan on finishing this particular doodle, but it's eluding me, because normally by now they start to look like something in my brain, and I go, oh yeah, that's what that is, and then I make it look like that on purpose. But this one's not. No matter which way I turn it. I did a YouTube short, and I was like, when you don't even know what your own drawing is, like, the problem with doodles. because I have no idea what it is. I'm really hoping somebody, either it'll start to look like something or somebody will show up and be like, hey, it looks like that, turn it this way, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I see it now. And that's what it will be. But for now, it is just a bunch of scratchies. Not that there's anything wrong with that, I want to reach a point where I can say, yeah, that's enough lines, and then ink it in. And right now, I don't feel like it's enough lines. Sorry if you can hear me sniffling. I got a little bit of a runny nose today, but I think it's just because I'm cold. The weather's been a little wet here recently. A little damp. And if anybody here ever comes in and says, you know, could you draw this, then I might actually try to do it. Because sometimes I doodle because I lack the idea of what to do next. And hopefully eventually we'll get more people watching, and then there'll be more people chatting, and it won't be a lot of dead space of me saying nothing. So I don't know about you, but the silence drives me nuts. And sometimes I do larger of the little shapes that stick everything together. This one I was feeling I want to go small, and I don't know why I felt that way, but I did it, and it's too late to go back now, and I am a little bit regretting it because it is taking longer to do, but sneak a Triforce in there like we don't even notice. What's a Triforce? No, I've never played that game before in my life. Is his name Zelda? Wow. Okay. Now how do I do this again? Ban. Yep. I really need to get like a mod in here, because this takes away from the stream. Like, I'm trying to ban people instead of draw. But I haven't quite figured out how to make mods yet. So, for now, it is what it is. And I just gotta go and ban people whenever they do that stupid shit. Because that person is definitely a bot. Like, I have no problem with people coming in here and lurking and things like that. If you're actually chatting and somebody says, hey, I want to share something with you, and you send them a link, I don't have a problem with that. But that bot is just kind of reminds you of the point fish patterns you see on tattoos. Point fish patterns on tattoos. Koi, I was going to say, point fish. Koi fish patterns on tattoos. Yeah, a little, I can sort of see it. I don't know how to draw a koi fish, though, so I don't think it's a koi fish. But yeah, but same style. Yeah, I'm getting that. I can see it. I have done tattoo style artwork before. And I have done little drawings that turned into something, and people are like, oh, I want that as a tattoo. And I'm like, you do it. Like, I don't care. It's not like I'm doing art for money. I'm not out here doing that. And even if I was, you know, you want a real one, pay for it. You don't want to support me, and you just want to print it on your printer and make a little print at home, and or make your own little, as long as you're not selling it, do what you want with it. Like, if you want to screenshot this and put it on a t-shirt and wear it around, I don't care. But if you're going to sell it, then that's an issue. Because I am definitely not making money off of my art. So if anybody else is doing it, I want to know how. Do you have any tattoos, J. Carl? I don't. I was going to get one once, and then just when I thought I had enough money saved up I could get a tattoo, my ex was like, well, I'm going to spend this, and he got himself a tattoo, so. The problem with a small audience is I have no idea what to talk about when no one else is talking. They did a new update to Crimson Desert I've seen, and you can now customize your character. So that is, I'm wobbling a lot right now because I was moving my head around. But I seen you can customize your character now. You can change hairstyle, change your hair color. You can dye your clothing sets. I think I might have even seen one guy with a skin color change, and he was purple. And I was like, is that part of the update? or did he, like, use AI to fix that? You got one tattoo so far. You want more? You just don't want to put random stuff. Yeah, I get that. One you have now is of your dog. Yeah, that's a cool thing to have tattooed. That for sure. I know a lot of people get things that really have meaning to them, and I think that's really cool. There's some people that go out there and they just get a tattoo for the sake of getting tattoos, or they go out and they drink a little too much and go, oh, this would be funny. Or they have dares, people daring them to get things, and I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. But then you see people with, like, the tattoos that mean something, like their names of friends who have passed, or a character that their friend really liked, and they just decided to give them a tribute that way, and I think that's really cool. They have, like, their children or their pets, or some people have, like, different anime characters, because that's through the love of the anime, that's how they met the person that they love and stuff. Hello, Riptide! How are ya? Nice to see you around. You doing okay? That's good to hear. We're just doing some doodling today until I can either get to my hour goal or decide to draw something else. Right now I've got no creativity beyond doing this doodle. I can't think of anything else to draw, and I apologize for the camera continually shaking, but right now I have a gooseneck stand. I really need a different one. But I did not realize it was going to wobble that much. And this is only the second stream I've done, so I'm not sure how sensitive these mics are, so if you hear things in the background like my pencil scratching on the paper, or if you hear me sniffling, or you hear the cars outside, or people in the house moving around, and I apologize, but for now this is the gear that I have. I also apologize for my annoying voice. I had no idea how annoying my voice was until I listened to the playback of last stream, and I went, that's how I sound? Why did nobody tell me? Sounds pretty good. I assume you mean quality-wise. That's good to know. I actually have the mic clipped onto the clip for the phone that's holding my phone, instead of clipping it to me, because I felt weird having it clipped to my clothing. I don't know, I'm weird. Excuse me, your voice sounds great. No, you're lying. You're lying. It's okay. You can stay. It's fine. We're all weird, though. I feel that. Being normal is boring. Who wants to be normal? Not me. Not it. Yeah, that's exactly right. Not it. Everybody wants to put you into a little box, and it's like nowadays it's just like, what box? I don't think we could see the box anymore. And then there's those people that are like, yeah, but you still need to be inside the box. And you're like, where? Show me the box. And then they're like, it's way over here. And I'm like, then you get in it because you're the closest. You like the box so much, you go live there. Because I don't like it. Really love what I'm drawing? Well, thank you. I just realized you can't see the edge that I'm actually drawing on, so I'm going to move it over Voice ain't bad. I think when we hear our own voice, though, we're all, that's what I sound like? I sound bad. Yeah, it's science moment. It's because of the structure of your skull and the bones and cartilage in your head, where the sound that's coming in is processed differently and separately than the sound that's coming from inside your head. So it echoes differently and at a different tone in your own head. Whereas if you then go and take that voice, your own voice, and put it on a tape or something and listen to it back, it's no longer coming from inside your head, so you hear the pitches the way other people hear it. And it's because of this reason that they've actually discovered ways to allow deaf people to hear depending on the cause of their deafness. For example, like Beethoven famously had a big pipe that he ran, I think it was brass maybe, or some type of resonating metal. He ran across his piano and he sat on the floor so he could feel the vibration in the floor, and he had that pipe next to his head and it vibrated and caused the vibration of the bones in his skull to give it noise. So he was able to somewhat hear what he was playing in that way. They've actually discovered, depending on the reason of your deafness, that they have those music lollipops, and they use bone resonation to make it work so that when you put the lollipop in your mouth, you're the only one who can hear the music or sort of feel what he was playing. Yet he could feel it and sort of also hear it, because like those lollipops, they don't make outward noise, but as soon as you put it in your mouth, suddenly you can hear a song playing, because it's using the resonation of bones and cartilage and stuff inside your skull. And so they actually have devices now that, if, depending on the reason for your deafness, it doesn't work for all deaf people, but depending on the reason for your deafness, they can actually put a device against the bone behind your ear and have it play the sound into your bones so that you can hear. It's not the exact same as the way a person with intact ear canals and eardrums would hear, but they are able to process sound. And so it's really cool, and they're working on perfecting that, and I think that's just amazing, the science that they can do, and it's all based on stupid little things like those musical lollipops, or the fact that people like Beethoven, who were like, man, I really want to play this, I want to hear what it sounds like, and he made that thing himself, I think. I don't know if he had help with it, he might have, but it's really cool. Yeah, it's really cool, it is. Cool the things you learn. Your drawing sort of looks like the pattern in dragonfly wings. Oh, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, this is actually one of the finer doodles I've done. Normally the shapes are a little bit larger, and I don't have recurring patterns in an area. And so, like, this is taking a lot longer, but normally if I've been drawing it for a little while, it starts to take a shape or a pattern will stick out, and I'll go, that's what that is. Like, I'll start drawing and it'll start to look like some type of alien creature, and then I'll just shape it like that. You really like this style? Well, thank you. I had hypergraphia when I was in high school. Which is the intense desire and need to draw or write. And so it got to the point where I was drawing on my own skin if I couldn't have pencils or pens. And so he said that a few days ago. Yeah, I probably did. And so, like, yeah, hypergraphia it's ridiculous. And I'm glad that I was able to outgrow it. Some people never do. And so there were points in my life where I just did not allow myself to have access to pens because it would end up on my skin. And every once in a while I still get like the I have to doodle thing, so I always keep a notebook and a pen near me. But never heard of a name for it. Yeah, it's even harder when you have things like dysgraphia, which is a form of dyslexia that's limited to words and letters, and especially the reading of them. And so, hey, how are you? Hey, Jason, how are you? We're just talking about random coolness today as I doodle this. So dysgraphia is what I have a mild version of. So my brain skips words. It skips over and it just grabs a couple of letters. And so it assumes what is there based on that. And so a lot of the time I will read things incorrectly. I have to force myself to slow down. And even then, a lot of the times that B's become P's and Q's and they all look the same to me, or I'll start reading and I'll read a completely different word and only share one letter, but the context made sense to me, and somebody else is like, I didn't mean that, this is what I said, go back and read it, and I'm like, where did I get that from? Good, thanks, taking a break to eat some food. Been at it since 10 a.m. It's now 5:30. Yeah, you must be getting pretty close to the end of your day. 10:30 and now it's 5:30. That's been at it since 10. Now it's 5:30. That's 7.5 hours. Yeah, that's a decent amount of time. You making anything new today, or? I know Jason does some really cool wood engraving art, and it's really, really wicked. Another 2 hours and you'll stop for the night. You're doing a unicorn. Oh, that sounds gorgeous. I love unicorns. Ink came. Hello, Ink. So, see, you said koi, and now he's starting to look like a fish. See, he's got the head shape. Look. You have influenced my brain. It's a different one. It's an angry one. Angry unicorn. Oh. It does look like a fish. It does now. Yes. Jake Crow said, oh, it looks like those koi they do in tattoos, and just subconsciously that snuck into my brain, and so now it is becoming a fish. Look what you did. Post a picture in the Discord. Hell yeah, I want to see that after. I still am not to the point where I have the gear that I can look at things and stream at the same time, but I will definitely go look afterwards. I kind of want to give him fingers now. You know, abstract. Yeah, most of what I do is abstract. I've been trying to get a little better at doing other things, which is why I started drawing Pokemon and stuff. I realize Pokemon aren't real. I'm not that crazy. But yeah, his fingers, okay. But it has been helping me open up into the idea that not everything needs to be abstract, but that is the majority of what I do is abstract stuff. I just start doodling random shapes together and wait until it becomes something. Wait until it starts to look like something to me, and then I go, oh, yeah, that's what that is. Let's make it that now. Interesting approach. Yeah, well, like I was trying to say, as I was talking the other day about my hypergraphia and how it got me into art, is because of the amount of just, I need to have the pencil on the paper and it doesn't matter what it makes. And so I did a lot of doodles and a lot of just random shapes, and sometimes because of other reasons, like, posted a pic for me to look at after. Thank you. I will look at that after. I also have that thing where my brain sees shapes in things when there aren't things. Especially the one where, you see faces and everything. And so I'm able to, like, just take a doodle and look at it and go, oh, I can see that kind of looks like this. And then I'll just make it that way on purpose. Like, yeah, that was totally the plan all along. Tribal art drawings of Pokemon? Oh, that sounds wicked. I'm going to try to do that with watercolor. Splash the page and make something out of it. Yeah, I've seen people try that with watercolor, and it looks amazing every time. And I'm like, that's just... Watercolor's a little beyond me at my level of art, but I love people that can do it. I also see, like, a lot of people, they have, like, those little spinny wheels, and they just put a bunch of different colors of paint onto a canvas, and then they spin it, and it looks so awesome afterwards. And I'm like, how did you know how to do that? How did you know those colors would make that? Thinking of carving a couple of them. Oh, I would love to see tribal Pokemon carved. That would be amazing. Okay. So if he's a fish and this is his hand and he's got his little claws over here being all grabby, then the rest of this is body. I'm going to smooth out his body just a little bit in this spot. I'll give him some type of weird fin right here, because I think that would be like right next to where his gills should be. Weird little fin. You're weird, it looks like a goat. Maybe it's a goatfish. It's a goatfish. And this over here is going to be his tail, the rest of his body, leading into his tail up here, hopefully. And then we'll have to fix this up into some sort of dorsal fin. And then, if I can do it, just for Riptide, we might give it horns, just so that it will be a fish goat. I mean, it does already have fingers, so it's not really much of a fish now, is it? Picture when, if you look at one way it's a rabbit and the other way it's a duck. Oh, like those magic eye pictures, or like the Rorschach ink blots, because those magic eye pictures drove me insane. Like, you had to cross your eyes a certain way to see the picture in it, and or like be at a certain angle or a certain distance, and everybody else was getting it, and I was like, where? I see all kinds of stuff in there, but that ain't it. No? Oh. Then I'm not entirely sure which one. It's like the ears of the rabbit or the bill of the... Oh, okay. So you mean like those ones where they go, oh, look at this, and which one did you see first? Like the elephant or the two people talking? Yes, yeah. The one where, like, this is a... Either you see this is a glass or this is two faces. And I always see the wrong one because trauma. Yeah. Yes, and I'm sorry for the wiggles. I don't have like any fancy gear yet. I'm working on it. We'll get there. Right now I'm drawing the goat's beard. This would be, oh, you're looking at it from the other direction. So this end is a fish and this end is a goat. To me, right now this looks like a wolf. See here, here's his ears. And then I just drew his face part. So now he's like a wolf and a fish. I was trying to draw a fish body and ended up with a wolf face. Like, how did that happen? It brings me back to, there's one circle in the center-ish. It's the eye for you. This one? Oh, I see. So like his face was here and his eye was here and this was the horn. I think this is going to be one of those pictures where it has a little bit of everything in. So after I've finished, maybe I'll just fill the whole paper. And after I'm finished, we'll just block out different parts that we think are something. And we'll color them different colors. So it's like 50 different things in here. What does that sound like? Does that sound like a plan? We'll just fill the whole paper and then come back and we'll ink out the parts that are something. That sounds like it would be cool. Because like right here is the wolf's eye. Even I like. That'd be cool. Yeah, thank you. Beautiful. Yeah, I think it's a brilliant idea. I'm glad we all came up with it. We're such geniuses and we're so good at art. You sort of see the wolf? Yeah, he wasn't quite fully distinct yet, I feel. Let's add a little more ear-like tip. And this part is not part of the wolf, but you can see my vision. Now you see the different Crazy. I think once I get it all doodled in and inked out, and then the pencil marks erased, I'll do a special stream where we all just figure out where all the different shapes are, and I'll mark them out with pencil, and then we'll decide which ones we want to focus on, and we'll color them like in different ways. And we'll just all do it as a group, and we'll be like, I see this, and I see that. Your brain is weird. My brain is weird. I think brains are weird. Brains are the only organ that named themselves. Let that sink in. A mini horse? Well, I mean, it could be. It could be a mini horse. I mean, I have seen mini horses. In Nova Scotia, there is actually an island called Sable Island that is full of what are called Shetland ponies. Not Shetland ponies, but they're similar. They're sable ponies. They are actually miniature horses that, so the island nobody lives on, and it's just this one thin strip of land. Watched a short on that island the other day. Yeah, it's just one strip of land that nobody lives on, and it's actually illegal to live there now. And there are these horses that were brought there a long time ago, and they were abandoned there, and people just, left them to their own devices, and they lived. So, shock and surprise. But they have, over generations, become smaller and smaller to deal with the fact that they don't have a whole lot of space. And it is really cool. And they are actually now classified as a different breed of horse because of it. They're their own special breed. Yeah, and so that's pretty cool. So, mini horses, yeah. But science is crazy. We just be finding new things every day. love talking science, and it's like I love learning new things. It's like it's a good way to expand your mind and make sure that you're not living in some type of gray normie sort of world just because somebody else told you to, that's the way the world is. You learn new things all the time, and you're able to look at the world a different way, and you're able to go, oh, I never noticed this before. And I love that. I think I've lost the plot on that corner, so we're going to flip the paper again. Let's see if I can't get some stuff in here from a different angle. Maybe another one of these lines that's just a bunch of boxes next to each other. Different sizes. And that in a triangle. Science is fun. I like history a lot. Too, you have a lot of fossil layers where you live. You're able to find a little of everything there. Fossil layers, yeah, that's cool. Did you hear, speaking of science and fossils, that there is a field in France that they've been using for decades to train archaeologists for them to learn how to dig and how to do all that stuff, and for them to practice, and because it just has a lot of fossils, and they've been using it for decades, and then they got a really rainy year, and it flooded and got really wet, and so they had to keep, do a little, and then the water would come, and they'd have to wait for it to dry up, so that they could do a little more, and then the water would come, and what happened is that all of that water, and the act of them doing all the excavating, they found previously undiscovered, they found just tons of nests just strung around, and most of them were of the same type of dinosaur that they find in France, but there were a bunch of other different ones, just perfectly fossilized nests full of eggs, and some of these eggs were practically round, and you gotta wonder what happened to those eggs? Is that how they evolved to lay not round eggs because this one dinosaur that laid round eggs, and they all just sort of rolled away and they lost them. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So in France, they recently discovered all of these fossilized nests. That's pretty cool to hear about. Yeah, it is. They've been digging there for decades, and just all of a sudden, because of these months where it would rain for a week and it would be so wet they can't dig there, so they had to wait for it to dry, and then once it was dry, they went and they dug out a little more, and all the water, it washed down, and so there's a mountain nearby, so the plain is there, and then there's a mountain, and so they were digging here, and then they got down far enough that some of those nests are actually partly under that mountain range, and so they need to get new funding to try to, and equipment to try to tunnel under the mountain so that they can see what else is under there. And they're probably going to end up studying the geology of when did this mountain range appear, how long has it been here, where did it come from, because if there are all kinds of nests of dinosaur eggs under the mountain, how did they get under the mountain, Coolest fossil you found so far was a partial mastodon tooth. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, we have mastodon fossils. There's a place called Stewiacke, which actually has Mastodon Ridge, and they actually found, I think it was complete or almost fully complete mastodon fossil, and so he's become like the town mascot or something. Like so mastodon, or is it a woolly mammoth? I think it was a mastodon, and I could be wrong. It could be a woolly mammoth. I confuse them. I know they're different things, but I do confuse them in my brain sometimes. But yeah, so they found like a complete fossil, and that was pretty cool. Because they actually, there are a lot of gypsum mines. And so when they mine gypsum, gypsum is actually pretty good at hiding preserved fossils. But it's also very soft, easy to dig through, and so they find all kinds of stuff in there. I think the coolest fossil I seen was not what anyone else would consider a fossil, probably, because I feel like it wasn't old enough. It just happened to be made in like a type of hard packed clay that it kept the print. And it was just I think a snail or something. I think that's the only one I've ever seen in real life, in the wild. Okay, that side got away from me too. It just starting to look like chainmail or scale mail or something. Like I'm scaling a dragon or something. Yeah, we'll go with it. I'll give it a little like sharp nail over here. One thing I love about doodling though is like you're never wrong. Like whatever you do, it totally, you meant to do that, right? That's a little low. I'm gonna have to hold this up here just because it's hard for me to draw down there. So today is Thursday. That makes tomorrow Good Friday. Anybody in here have the long weekend fully off? 4-day weekend? I remember when I was in school, 4-day weekends, those were the best. You're just like, yes, don't have to go to school. Of course, at the same time, I missed being in school, but, you know, I mean, 3-day weekend there, yeah. There's a lot of places I feel it's a 3-day weekend. There are some places that, it's based on the employer, and so, like, some employers will give you a 4-day weekend and some won't. Schools, some of them are in different areas. Some of them are a 4-day weekend. Of course, there's some areas in the world that don't celebrate it, and so they don't have any time off. But I feel like March break is becoming a thing more around the world now. Where, like, it used to be more like a North American thing, I feel like, and then it really only gets crazy, I think, in the States, but spring break. You always see those in American cartoons. Spring break. And I was like, we never had that craziness going on up here. Not that I know of. Nobody invited me. About to ask if you mean spring break. Yeah. So in Canada, at least where I am, it's March break because it only ever happens in March. But yeah, in America, it's like spring break. And I feel like if other countries did have it all along and I just didn't know about it, maybe it was just because either I didn't know people from those countries or went to those countries, or maybe it's just the internet. It's not more prevalent now. You just find out about it more. It's like people able to connect better these days. Like when you were weird growing up, you felt like you were the only one, and now you're looking around and you're like, we were all weird. We were all weird. Just in different ways, maybe. But we were all weird, definitely. And then you feel less alone because you're like, oh, I'm not the only one. Thank goodness for that. Now I see a dragon. It's different everywhere. But now, like, here's the front of his nose, top of his nose part, and his eyes would be here somewhere. It's probably these. Or this, probably. And then, like, here's a horn, and there's a horn. It's like there's a dragon head hiding in there behind everything. And I actually think this, let me move it over. This right here might be the actual shape of a literal human heart. Bird. Where? Like this is a bird beak? Where do you see a bird? Bird beak. Yeah. Oh, maybe. Yeah. More we look, the more animals and objects we'll find. Yeah. That's one of the things I love about abstract art is no two people are going to look at it and see the same exact thing the first time. Like you might be able to agree with someone when they say, oh, I see this in it, and they show you where, and you're like, oh, I can see it now too. But you'll be like, but what I saw first was this, and then you point it out, and they're like, oh, yeah. And so everybody sees it a little bit differently, and I love that because there's no one perfect way to look at it and study it and go, this is what the artist meant, this is what they were feeling, this is exactly what that is and nothing else. Because that art like that, I mean, it has its place, but to me it's boring. I like the ones where you gotta look. Fish, or a fish. You see a fish. I've heard of fish with no eyes, but a fish with no H, no S. That's a new one to me. Hey, George, how are you today, bud? Get the Scotian accent rolling, and nobody will understand a word. Not bad, how's all? Oh, I'm not doing too bad. My camera's still wiggly. Inside joke of a server you've been in. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Inside jokes are fun, especially when nobody else gets them, right? Because if I got it, it wouldn't be an inside joke. Glad. Yeah, we're just doodling again, having a little fun. I got a couple more minutes of this, and then I'm going to call it. I'm trying not to go over my plan, because I had planned an hour a day when I first started this, and then my first stream I did an hour and 45 minutes, so that is not an hour. Bad girl. In an art server, but the fish took over, and the goblin got too greedy. Greedy goblins. the more gameplay I watch of Crimson Desert, the more I want it, because it's like, you see these, there's goblins in Crimson Desert that were in Black Desert Online and in Black Desert Mobile. And I understand that it's the same world. Crimson Desert is a prequel. I get it. But there are a select few non-playable characters, like NPCs, that are in both. And I don't just mean their race. So there are goblins, yes, in both. And yes, there should be. But there is a specific goblin, Shakatu, who appears in both. And you're like, how old is that guy? How long do goblins live? Like crazy. Greedy golden goblin? You mean the treasure goblins from Diablo? Crimson Desert does look cool. I watched someone who's doing a playthrough of it. Yes, it does look cool. It looks incredible. I played Black Desert Online and I liked it, but it had its failings, and I feel like a lot of the failings were solved with Crimson Desert, and I'm here for that. A server full of artists. So you got a ton of gifs of the goblin and what we're doing to it. He's a made-up goblin, but don't tell him that. Oh, nice. Oh, I love it when people just get along and they can do things like that as a group, and it's great. But yeah. Now, you said greedy golden goblin, and the first thing that came to my head was the, in Diablo 4, there's a dungeon, I guess you'd call it, where it's just all treasure goblins, and you get to the end, and then there's that great big fat one, and he's got all the treasure, and every time you hit him, gold coins go everywhere. Oh, that's just my funnest thing to find when I'm doing runs. The second funnest is the this is not a cow level. There's always got to be, if it's Diablo, it has to have this is not a cow level. An art event called the Merch Hotel, but since it's now April, he raised the rent and kicked us all out. That's great. Alright, so we're getting pretty close to the 1 hour mark now. So I'm going to put just a couple more scribblies, and then we're probably going to call it a day. The people had too much money, so he had to raise the rent again in order to kick them out. That's great. That is great. I love little stories like that. Like, it reminds me of days when the internet was young and new and full of promise. And we did mystery solving on forums, and nobody was rude ever. I mean, they were still rude. Hence the sarcasm I tried to bring out in my voice just now, which probably didn't work very well, but yeah, you wish, yeah. We fled in lifeboat servers. Yeah. No, I remember. Oh, I'm so old. No, I remember when, doing, like, when I was in high school, I joined some different, like, they had websites that were just forums. Because we didn't have live chat. You had forums. We couldn't be trusted to have live chat. And rightly so. If you look at the world today, they were right not to trust us with live chat starting out. And so we had forums, and some of us went way too hard with it, and we had role-playing forums. But we didn't do any weird stuff. It was all like mystery stories. It looks like a bird now. What? But we did like mystery stories. So if you've ever heard of dinner theater, basically where you would throw a party and then people would show up and they'd pretend to be different characters and they'd solve a murder by the end of the dinner or whatever. Well, we did that, but online. And so we all played a character, and nobody knew who was which character because we created specific accounts just for those characters, sort of like Clue. I mean, yes and no, that we didn't have like little cards that said, you know, we only the person who did the thing knew they did the thing, and they had to state, like, every post you made had to be in character. So, like, I actually hosted one that was Survivor, when Survivor was in its first season. And in the sense of the story behind it, yeah, I guess so, yeah. And so I did Survivor. When Survivor was in the first season, I called it Survivor Island. And so there were different riddles hidden around the island. You had to solve the riddles, find the clues, find the answers. And at the end of the week, we all voted somebody off and stuff like that. And then we got down to the end of it, and I was like, I have a confession to make, guys. And I was talking to the people that I was running it with. And I said, I have a confession to make. I have not done a single bit of planning at all for this entire thing. I just went, this is my idea, and I ran with it. I've been making it up as I went along. I have no idea who did it. And they were like, what do you mean? I'm like, yeah, I don't know what to do. So I was like, you know what? This is what we're going to do. So we had me and a mod that were the runners of the Survivor episode. And I went, this is what we're going to do. We're going to give them a final clue to where all the money is. The money that they're supposed to win for living on this island for X amount of time. We're going to give them a clue that leads them to where the money is. And when they get there, there's not going to be any money because you and I are going to steal it and run away together. And so that's what we did. And everybody was like, at first we were expecting backlash. We thought they were going to be like, oh my God, rage. And everybody loved it. It was awesome. And when I explained to them afterwards, I was like, because nobody knows which person you are when you're doing this, because we had a regular forum where we all had our accounts made, and then we had the role-playing forum. And so when you made your new character for the role-playing forum, it wasn't linked to your regular account. And so nobody knew who anybody was. We had our own AOL Instant Messenger account for our character and stuff, and we had to stay in character when we were using that character's account. And so nobody even knew who was running it. And so when I came out at the end and I was like, yeah, this was me, and my bad. The ending was not, exactly what you expected, I'm sure, because I had no idea where I was going with it. I just went, I'm going to do Survivor. And I was making the puzzles up as I went along, and I was expecting them to all just tear me down and go, this is horrible, and why would you do this to us? I demand a real ending. And they loved it. And they were like, let's do that again. All right. So I'm going to take it this way, and we're going to see what we got so far. So this doesn't quite all fit in, so I'm going to slide it by and then slide it back. So this is where we're at today, and we're at an hour and 5 minutes, so I am going to call the stream today, and we're going to try again. The weekend, because it's holiday weekend, I won't be back streaming till probably Tuesday. Any Discords I'm in or other streams, I'll let people know for sure 100% when I plan another stream, but it'll probably be Tuesday, same time, same bat channel. I'll see you around. Peace. Do I have a stream Discord? I do not have my own right now because I don't have a PC and I can't make one. If anybody wants to make one, I will 100% back you. I will do that. I'll say, this is the official Discord. But as of right now, I don't. You can help? Well, if you build one, you made inks. Oh, that's awesome. If you build one, I will use it. 100% I will use it. And if you tell me how to make people moderators on Twitch, I will give you that power. 1000%. I haven't figured out how to do it yet. At the beginning of stream, I always end up with some bot coming in, putting links, and then I have to pause drawing and use my little and go ban them. You're back in your shed, Jason, just in time for us to leave you. You can help me out? Okay, so I have no other gear besides my phone that I am streaming from right now. Ooh, I had a little cut on my finger. So I know it must be somewhere in Stream Manager. Am I in Ink's Discord? I am not. Hold on a second. I am not in Ink's Discord. I am in my own. No, I'm in few, but not Ink's yet. Now it kind of looks like a bison. Well, I guess we're gonna figure that out next time. If anybody wants to add me on Discord, this is my Discord tag. Don't ask me why. I have no idea. Well, part of the idea. I used to have this as a Discord tag, and then I lost my account and couldn't get it back, and so now I have this. And so that is my Discord tag. If anybody wants to add me on Discord and chat me up sometime, you can DM me at my Discord with any specific ideas you want to see me try to draw, because I am not great at drawing except for things like the doodles and the scary Pokemon mashups. That one came out looking like a clown, but I love her anyway. But except for people, if you want me to try to draw something, I will try to draw it. And I'm going to start making a list and putting it through and say, okay, this person wants to see that. We're going to put that on a list of things to draw on stream. But you can't draw people either. It's the symmetry. Because I'm bad at symmetry, and at the same time, humans are not symmetrical. They just aren't. And whoever tries to tell you different is a liar. And so when you try to draw people, you have to draw them not symmetrical for them to look like people. But at the same time, my brain goes, that's not symmetrical. You can't be doing that. And so I try to make it symmetrical, and it looks like crap. So I don't do people. You know it's annoying. Yes, it is annoying. But again, so we're going to call the stream for today. This is my Discord. If you want to add me on Discord and message me, hey, can you draw this on stream? I will give it a try. We're going to try for Tuesday. I'm going to end up with a paper full of marks. Tuesday. Excuse my handwriting. I know it's horrible. And we're going to go probably 1 p.m. Atlantic, which is noon Eastern. I'm not 100% sure what time it is in other... I'm going to have to get a list sometime. Besides Eastern, the next one over, I believe, is Central, which would be 11 Central. And 10 Mountain, 9 Pacific. Does that sound right? So yeah, those are the time, that basically the time I'm going to try draw to draw my next stream because it is Easter weekend, and while I don't know 100% what I am doing, there is always the chance the little ones will be here, and yeah, so if you add me on Discord and you want to see something drawn, message me. Do not message me weird random links. I don't click them. If you want to message me pictures of your own art for me to look at, that's fine. If you want to send me pictures saying, hey, I love you, yeah, I'll be like, you're crazy because I don't even love me. But if you want to message me and say, hey, can you try drawing this on stream, I will definitely 100% consider it and try to add it to a list. Because I'm going to start making a list. Now, at some point, if I get to the point where I have too many people requesting things, what I'm going to start doing is combining them. So one person asks me for a bison, another person says, hey, I want a bird. We're going to have flying bison, okay? It's going to happen eventually. But anyway, everybody have a good Easter weekend if you celebrate Easter, or Ostara if you are of that faith. And if it's just another weekend, you have a good Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and I will see you Tuesday. Believe a friend request is sent. As soon as I stop this, I will go check and accept it. All right, have a good time, people. Love you all.